While the mainstream media often refuses to cover Donald Trump's cognitive decline, he is forcing them to by broadcasting his idiocy as much as possible. And although, like I said, they try to avoid it, sometimes they step in it, which is exactly what happened with the Fox propaganda outlet, which unknowingly broadcast Donald Trump's cognitive decline in such a brutal example that he is now panicking and losing his mind over it. But before we get into that, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into the clip by Fox that was shared completely showing off Trump's cognitive decline, we got to start with the context of it. And it is a fight he is getting into with Governor Wes Moore, who just hit back mocking Trump on CNN right here.
What is your response to the president calling Baltimore, as he put it there, a hellhole?
Well, the president seems to be obsessed with me. Today he called me a beauty, and when I first met him, he just talked about how I was a good-looking guy. And now he just continues to make statements that are just flat-out false about our state's largest city. The reality is that when I first became the governor, Baltimore in 2022 had about a homicide a day. The last time the homicide rate was this low in Baltimore City, I was not born yet. And we have done it by making historic investments in law enforcement, by making historic investments in predictive technologies, and we've done it by actually working with the mayor, working with the state's attorney, working with community violence intervention groups, and working with the community to be able to ensure that people can feel safer in their neighborhood. We know we have more work to do, but we're not going to be performative or cynical about the way we are doing it, and not taking the approach that the President of the United States seems to be taking about making people safe in communities.
Donald Trump, obsessed with a Democratic governor who is hitting back against him, pointing out his hypocrisy, demonstrating real leadership. That doesn't sound like Donald Trump, does it? He's never attacked the Democratic governor except for, I don't know, maybe Governor Newsom, Governor Whitmer, Governor Walz, Governor Pritzker. Oh, so yes, he does this all the time, yes. So of course, Donald Trump is going to be attacking Wes Moore, but in classic Trump fashion, he has taken it a step too far because he's now telling this kind of insane story about Wes Moore that is not going too well for him, because Wes Moore, of course, instantly hit back. So I first want to take a look at what Donald Trump had to say about him in the Oval Office, then how Moore responded, and we'll check out how that led to Fox displaying his cognitive decline.
I met him at the Army-Navy game. They said, "Oh, there's Governor Moore. He'd love to see you." He came over to me, he hugged me, shook my hand. "You were there." He said, "Sir, you're the greatest president of my lifetime." I said, "It's really nice that you say that. I'd love you to say it publicly, but I don't think you can do that, so it's okay. But no, sir, you're doing a fantastic job. I want to just shake your hand. Thank you very much, Governor." That was it. And then every time I see him on television, he's knocking the hell out of me.
And the thing that gets me most about this is how deeply disrespectful this is to members of the National Guard who signed up for this job, as I did when I deployed overseas and I led paratroopers in combat, where we signed up with the expectation that the commander-in-chief and the people who was declaring our orders was actually taking it seriously. And the problem is we are seeing a lack of seriousness from the President of the United States to a very serious situation. And that's why I invited him to come to Baltimore, to come be educated, to come learn, so he doesn't have to spout nonsense from the Oval Office and things that are just blatantly not true about what is actually happening and the work that's happening in coordination to make people feel safer in their neighborhoods.
This is exactly how Democrats should be responding when we see any outlet, whether it is right-leaning, center, left, doesn't matter, asking these questions about crime. Don't qualify with, well, we do take crime seriously and we think it's important and Democrats aren't soft on crime. No. Just point out the fact that what Donald Trump is doing in D.C. isn't actually addressing crime. It's a joke. And Donald Trump is a joke. He's obsessed with Wes Moore. He's attacking him for no reason other than the fact that Moore isn't bowing down and bending the knee, and good for him. But he's gone a little too far in doing so. He's overextended the lie, because Donald Trump said that Wes Moore, when he met him at that Army-Navy game, said that he was the greatest president of his lifetime. Well, Fox's Will Cain, the most spectacular idiot on the internet, decided to play that clip. And yeah, it kind of shows where Donald Trump's brain is at right now.
Knocking the hell out of him. Wes Moore is posting on social media saying that President Trump can't walk, but maybe he should walk the streets of Baltimore. It didn't take him long to respond to the president there in the Oval Office. He said, LOL, keep telling yourself that, Mr. President. It'd be wild, though, if only we had the footage that President Trump had referenced about them meeting at the Army-Navy game. And thanks to the art of the surge on Fox Nation, we have the footage.
Mr. President,
Welcome back to Maryland, sir. Welcome back to Maryland. It's good to see you.
In person, too.
Thank you, sir. Great to see you. Great to see you. And great to have you back here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we are very, very anxious to be able to work closely with you. And I know the Key Bridge is something that we're specifically. It's going well. I mean, we spoke with Speaker Johnson yesterday, and Speaker Johnson says he believes it'll close to the 100% cost share. And the thing is, I told him when we get that 100% cost share done, we are going to be able to go over the Key Bridge under your watch, because I will have it done in 28. On time and on budget.
We'll help you out.
Thank you, sir.
We didn't hear their greatest presidents ever, but we did hear a lot of enthusiasm and so excited to meet you, Mr. President. Who's telling the truth?
So that clip was from a couple of months ago. Now, Donald Trump remembers it as Wes Moore saying that Donald Trump was the greatest president in the world. And admittedly, Will Cain says Wes Moore was enthusiastic, as you would likely be, talking to a president who plays political games with responding to disasters. And obviously, Wes Moore wants to make sure that there's some sort of relationship in rebuilding the Francis Scott Key Bridge. But Will Cain says Donald Trump did not get to hear Wes Moore tell him he's the greatest president in the world. Will Cain admits Wes Moore did not say that Donald Trump is the greatest president of his lifetime. Then, of course, he says, well, who's to know? Who knows who's telling the truth? Will, you just played the clip. Donald Trump has completely misremembered, misconstrued, changed up that memory in his mind. Why? Because he is in clear cognitive decline. Fox is exposing Donald Trump's cognitive decline. It has gotten that bad. It has gotten to that point. And now, because of it, Donald Trump is once again attacking Wes Moore, saying that he's not presidential material, even though he's not running for president right now. He's focused on Maryland. Maybe Donald Trump is so angry about who is and isn't presidential material because, of course, he's trying to steal the midterm so he can try and steal the 2028 election for an illegal third term. But Wes Moore isn't putting up with this BS, and he called it all out just now on CNN.
Did you interact with him at any other point in that conversation? Did you ever tell him he was the greatest president in your lifetime?
I know this is breaking news to everybody, but the president is not telling the truth. What happened right there was when I first met the president, and then after he started talking about how I'm a good-looking guy, I started talking about the importance of the Key Bridge and how this state put on a case study on how to recover in times of crisis, that we were able to bring closure to all 6 families, to the individuals who were lost that night on the Key Bridge. And when they told us it was going to take 11 months to clear the federal channel, that this state got it done in 11 weeks. And we started talking about how it was going to get done. And then he later on invited me to come sit with him at the game. And I told him, I said, I'm good. I have my own seats. And I went to go sit with the cadets and the midshipmen. So, no, I never called him the greatest. And I just find it absolutely comical that that was the way he remembered that conversation.
Governor Wes Moore, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you so much.
It is clear he is in cognitive decline. Did he lie about the interaction, or maybe did he just forget it? Did he misremember? Is his brain playing tricks on him because Donald Trump is so into his pudding brain state that he can't remember anything? I don't know. All I know is that every single day we get another example of just how unfit Donald Trump is for this job. We get another example of how absurd and extreme he is acting in the worst interest of Americans. Every day, Donald Trump does something to make him even more historically unpopular. It is why right now, Donald Trump is trying to steal the midterms. Now, you would say to yourself, if Republicans were as popular as Donald Trump claimed, as Mike Johnson claimed, as Lindsey Graham screams and screams, then why do they need to steal the midterms? Maybe it's because they're unpopular. That's what this scheme is all about. And Nicole Wallace broke that down right here.
Fresh off a pressure campaign against Texas Republicans who complied and redrew their maps, today Donald Trump hosted Republican lawmakers from Indiana. Indiana appears to be the next target in the Trump administration's very transparent but shameless power grab to shield Republicans from being accountable to the will of voters in the 2026 midterm elections. But there's some new polling from Indiana that has a bit of a warning light for state Republicans there. Politico reports this, quote, 52% of registered voters in Indiana, which Trump won by 19 points last year, said they are against Republicans revising their maps, with 43%, quote, strongly opposing that effort. Nearly 2/3 of the survey respondents said gerrymandering should be illegal. And a full 2/3 expressed opposition to Washington politicians meddling in their state's politics. Voters' discomfort with gerrymandering not lost on at least a few Indiana Republicans. New York Times reports at least 10 state legislators have chosen defiance. Even as pressure from the White House has ramped up, those lawmakers, a small fraction of the roughly 110 state legislative Republicans from Indiana, have expressed opposition to rare mid-decade redistricting in social media posts, interviews, and formal statements. Quote, if we do that now, the rule book gets tossed out the window. That was State Representative Jim Lucas, a Republican from southern Indiana. Besides, he said, Republicans already hold 7 of Indiana's 9 congressional seats. We have a saying, the pigs get fat, the hogs get slaughtered. Mr. Lucas said, we should be happy with what we have. I was just trying to figure out who the slaughtered hogs are. Joining our conversation is New York Times political reporter Nick Corsinati. Jim is here. Nick, where's this going in Indiana?
I think Indiana is the first state that we're going to see some real resistance to this whole effort by the president to force Republican states to redistrict in mid-decade. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is the ask coming from the White House is pretty extreme, even by what we've seen already. When Vice President Vance went to meet with leadership like the governor and the state legislative leaders in Indiana, they asked for a 9-0 map, meaning wipe all Democrats off the congressional delegation. And that's a far reach for a state that has, 39 or 40% Democratic voters in the last presidential election. So I think that instantly puts some resistance in state leadership.
This is a political party in complete disarray. They are grasping at anything to try to stay afloat, because Donald Trump is historically unpopular, and he will continue to be as we call him out. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.